2, 1, go!
Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, and welcome to Pony Canyon, the beautiful Pony Canyon in the Alola region where the Fissure are hosting the Coney Spring. This is a battle of the Alola teams. It's Nidorina and Abomasnow start out for the Coney Spring, whereas it's Powdon and Seismitoad starting out for the Pony Canyon Fissure. Again, this is all Alola region representation by these two sides, as Abomasnow with that Snow Warning immediately causes it to start hailing, and Seismitoad going with the Shadow Sneak, immediately targeting Nidorina, who responds with a Charm. Doesn't go for the offensive move. Instead, it opts to lower the stats there, lowering the attack heavily of Hippowdon, and Abomasnow going with the Magic Coat. These two sides, Coney Spring, are tied for 8th. The Pony Canyon Fissure are tied for 15th. They need a victory here, as that stored power from Hippowdon is going to do minimal damage to Nidorina. And there is that hail. This is unfortunately going to hit Nidorina as well. Abomasnow unintentionally doing damage to its own teammate here. That is not what the Ice Grass Pokemon wants. Seismitoad going with the Brine onto Abomasnow here. It's not very effective. And Nidorina responds for its side with the Aurora Beam onto her Powder. That is much more effective. Super effective attack there. And Abomasnow follows it up with the Defog. So it doesn't go for an attack there. Instead, it lowers Seismitoad's evasiveness. And Powdon goes with the Yawn, trying to put Abomasnow to sleep there. They need to capitalize on that quad weakness that Abomasnow has. But speaking of quad weakness, the Grass types need to target Seismitoad here. They could take that Pokemon down very easily, as Seismitoad sets up a Psychic Terrain on the field. See if anybody capitalizes on that. These two sides though have the potential to be quite defensive, I imagine. They both have high attack stats, but they also have really high defense stats. So this is a very physical matchup, as all stat changes are eliminated. And Abomasnow going with the Sand Tomb onto Hippowdon there. Not doing a great deal of damage, but it does get trapped by the Quicksander, and a Fissure is attempted by Hippowdon, but Abomasnow avoids it. That would have been amazing to see a Fissure hit by the Fissure, ironically. And there's that hail continuing to do damage to everyone on the field, as well as Hippowdon getting double damage, taking more from that Sand Tomb, which chips away at it, as Abomasnow finally falls asleep after that Yawn. And Seismitoad going with the Ally Switch. It will swap places with Hippowdon there. See if this benefits the ground types. That Lovely Kiss is avoided by Seismitoad. And speaking of sleeping Pokemon, Abomasnow still asleep, and Hippowdon goes for the Yawn again, this time setting up to put Nidorina asleep. This could be very good, allowing the Pony Canyon Fissure to take their time over the spring. And there is that hail continuing to do affect everyone on the field. Abomasnow clearly unaware of what it's doing to its teammate. And there's that Sand Tomb doing more damage, as Hippowdon is barely holding on. And here comes the Muddy Water from Seismitoad. It will get the same type attack bonus, but still, I am actually quite amazed at how much damage that did to Nidorina, even though it's not very effective, but does lower the accuracy of a sleeping Abomasnow there. And Nidorina is going to go with the Withdraw and boost its defenses here. Abomasnow still fast asleep though. It needs to wake up for the sake of its team, and Hippowdon in the meantime is going to go with the Freeze Dry on its Nidorina. That's super effective, and Nidorina's taken down with that attack. Fantastic play there by Hippowdon to take down the Grass type, and that hail finally stops Abomasnow having no idea what's going on around it. But that Sand Tomb also eliminates Hippowdon, so Hippowdon finishing off strong, unfortunately, is taken down as Leafeon comes onto the field, and Garchomp, the pseudo-legendary, comes onto the field, but goes with a Morning Sun, which takes no effect on the Spatial Rend. Is avoided by Garchomp from Leafeon. A very good avoidance there. That Simple Beam does change Abomasnow's ability to Simple, so its stats can be doubled or taken down twice as much as usual. As a Belly Drum is performed by Abomasnow, it is going to cut down on its health, but maximizes its attack. It needs to capitalize on this. Spirit Shackle coming from Garchomp onto Leafeon. Doesn't do a great deal of damage, but Leafeon can't escape, and Leafeon responds with the Water Pulse. That Dragon typing prevents that from doing more damage than it usually would, as Seismitoad goes with the Psy Strike. If it goes for Abomasnow, surely it'll finish it off here, and Abomasnow is taken down. Abomasnow not having a really great impact in this matchup. That Psychic Terrain finally leaves the battlefield. You have to think that Psy Strike might have been boosted by that Psychic Terrain, as Exeggutor, another Dragon type, comes onto the field. See if we can have a clash of the dragons here. Garchomp going with a String Shot, looking to slow down the Alolan Exeggutor as well as Leafeon. That's right, Exeggutor is in its Alolan form. Its giant head barely fits on the screen properly, as that Whirlpool's avoided by Leafeon. from Seismitoad, and Leafeon goes with the headbutt onto Garchomp. Very good hit, but it does get hurt by that rough skin ability. Exeggutor now going with the flamethrower onto Garchomp, doing a lot more damage than I would have expected for that not very effective move. And the guard swap takes place by Garchomp, switches all its changes to its defense and special defense with Exeggutor. I don't believe there were any to switch though, as the side of the Pony Canyon Fissure becomes shrouded in mist, but the assurance from Leafeon still connects with Seismitoad. String Shot does miss by Exeggutor, and Garchomp goes with the Zen Headbutt, continuing to go for its fellow Dragon type. That is a decent hit there, and Seismitoad going with the Flare Blitz. This is going to be super effective. Goes for Exeggutor, a very good hit, and it leaves Exeggutor with the burn. Actually, I believe its Dragon typing prevented that from being super effective and potentially eliminating it from this matchup. And the Seismic Toss from Leafeon to Garchomp. Leafeon is doing huge damage to Garchomp in this matchup. Exeggutor has flinched, not helping Leafeon out whatsoever, and does get hurt by that burn. Roar Veil does fail by Garchomp, but Seismitoad goes with the Strength Step on the already weakened Exeggutor. This is going to restore Seismitoad's health. Seismitoad doing very well to hang on in this matchup, considering it is very vulnerable against the Coney Spring. Electro Web does not affect Garchomp or Seismitoad, and Exeggutor goes with the extra Sentry onto Seismitoad, trying to take it down. Decent hit with that move, and Exeggutor continues to take damage from the burn. Garchomp sets up a safeguard to prevent its side from feeling the effects of moves that could potentially burn it. And a brutal swing from Seismitoad almost eliminates Garchomp, but it does eliminate, more importantly, Exeggutor, who is taken down by Seismitoad. A very good work here today by Seismitoad as Sceptile comes out onto the field, and Sceptile immediately goes with the Flamethrower onto Garchomp and finishes it off. We did not see them two on the field for very long, and Sceptile made the most of it though, taking down the Pseudo-Legendary. Seismitoad going with the Rising Voltage onto Leafeon. Not very effective there, but Leafeon responds with a Leafage. This is going to be super effective, and Seismitoad is finally taken out of this matchup. Leafeon with a fantastic hit there, as the Pony Canyon Fissure are no longer protected by the mist, but Claydol and Sandaconda now coming out for the Pony Canyon Fissure, as the Misty Terrain is set up by Sceptile. That Misty Terrain taking effect over the field as Battlefield gets a little weird now. But see if anyone can capitalize on this. That mist swells around the field, and minimized by Claydol, making itself harder to hit by boosting its evasiveness. Sandaconda going with a super effective infestation onto Sceptile. It's not a very powerful move, but it will afflict it with more damage in between attacks as Leafeon goes with the Fiery Dance. This won't be very effective on the ground type Sandaconda, but it still gets a decent hit in there as Leafeon boosts its special attack. And sorry, it was just regular damage, but there is that infestation doing more damage to Sceptile, who now goes with the Iron Head onto Sandaconda. Claydol going with the payback, sticking up for its teammate. A very good hit there onto Sceptile as Sandaconda has flinched, and a slack off from Leafeon. Very good time to use that move. Restores its health, a huge health restoration there. And there is that infestation continuing to hurt Sceptile. Sceptile has become an easy target on the field. But before that happens, it goes with the Octazooka onto Sandaconda, and Sandaconda is eliminated with that super effective move. The combination of Leafeon and Sceptile is doing fantastic for the Coney Spring, as a double kick now comes from Claydol. Doesn't do a great deal of damage to Leafeon with those two strikes. And Leafeon goes for the Stomping Tantrum, but Claydol has that Levitate ability, so it does avoid that move as the safeguard clears from the Pony Canyon Fissure. Rhydon coming onto the field and immediately hit by the triple kick from Sceptile. It's hit twice, only gets 2 hits. It is super effective, but it doesn't do a great deal of damage, and Claydol goes with the Throat Chop onto Leafeon here, chipping away at the Evolution. Rhydon follows it up with the Freeze Dry onto the Evolution, and that will get the job done. A super effective elimination there. It is now down to a 2 versus 2 battle as Tangrowth comes out as the last Pokemon, and Sceptile immediately goes for the Flame Wheel onto Rhydon. It's not going to be very effective on the ground rock type, and Claydol sets up Toxic Spikes. It is way too late in the matchup to be going for that. They will not have any effect because no one is going to come onto the field off the bench. That Thunder Punch will not affect the ground types from Tangrowth, but Rhydon sets up a Hail, and everyone on the field is going to take damage from that. I don't know if this will hurt the Pony Canyon Fissure more than it will hurt the Coney Spring, as everyone proceeds to take damage from this move. But we have our first time warning. The third one goes, we have 2 to go, so we'll get our 2 warning, and then we'll have our 1 as the countdown will begin. See if this matchup can finish off before then. Sceptile goes for the side strike onto Rhydon, immediately trying to finish this match off. Doesn't do a great deal of damage, but does enough. See if it can follow up. Claydol going with the power gem onto Tangrowth, who responds with a flip turn, but Claydol avoids that attack, and a gear up from Rhydon does fail. And again, that hail hitting everyone's Sceptile is a very easy target in this matchup for the ground types. They need to get the Hoenn starter Pokemon off the field, and there he is, our second time warning. We'll have one more after this, but there's a low sweep from Sceptile onto Rhydon. Super effective, almost gets the elimination, and Rhydon has its speed lowered. It has become an easy target. Claydol with the headbutt onto Sceptile. Sceptile is eliminated. Tangrowth is all by itself now with 2 Pokemon to contend with, and it goes with the echoed voice, and it goes for Rhydon, and it doesn't get the job done. Rhydon hangs on and responds with an eruption. This is going to be super effective on the grass type. And it barely looked like anything happened. What happened there? We are in the countdown towards the end of this match, and Rhydon is eliminated by its own hail. I cannot believe what happened with that eruption there. Tangrowth, huge defense. Tangrowth goes with the infestation onto Claydol. This will do damage in between turns, but there are so few turns left. They need to get this job done as the clock ticks down on screen. Tangrowth taking damage from that hail. Still, somebody needs to come out with a huge hit. There's that infestation hurting Claydol. This may be the last move before these Pokemon get fully healed. Metal Claw onto Tangrowth. Tangrowth needs to use a grass type move and take down Claydol. Goes with the triple kick. Claydol avoids the attack. So this match with these 2 Pokemon are going to get fully restored because that infestation will not take down Claydol. We are going to take a quick break, and here we are back already because that is how fast they will get healed. Tangrowth comes out full strength. Claydol will be coming out full strength. We are going to get a winner here because this match has to end. We'll see who takes the crown. Claydol sets up with a curse, as these are the 2 remaining Pokemon in this matchup. Claydol does lower its speed, but it is going to boost its attack stat and its defense here. See if that pays off. And Tangrowth also boosting its stats, going with the growth. It does boost its attack and special attack, so aiming for its offenses, and immediately goes for the Psycho Shift, but that does fail. And Claydol responds with a Dragon Breath, so even though it is now slower, it does get the first offensive move. And it paralyzes Tangrowth, so Tangrowth should be slowing out as Claydol goes with the Growl, looking to lower the stats there of Tangrowth, lowering that attack stat that was boosted. And Tangrowth going with the Trick or Treat. It is going to add the Ghost type into Claydol. Claydol has just become immune to normal type moves. Claydol goes with the Razor Leaf. This isn't going to be very effective on a grass type Pokemon though. And Claydol responds with a Bolt Beak, which does even less because it doesn't affect Claydol. Claydol fails with the Endeavor, and Coaching from Tangrowth also fails. Claydol now with the Howl. They keep boosting their stats. Somebody needs to go for something offensive and finish this matchup off. Tangrowth, here it is, a Prismatic Laser. This is going to cause it to need to recharge though, but it does do very good damage for a not very effective attack, and Claydol responds with the Acid Spray. Super effective move. Tangrowth does have its special defense lowered greatly, which allows Claydol to go for a false swipe. It's not a shiny Pokemon, Claydol. It doesn't matter, but Tangrowth goes with the Splash, so Tangrowth needs to get its things sorted because nothing happens. And Claydol goes with a Mega Horn. This should be super effective, and Tangrowth is eliminated. Claydol gets the win for the Pony Canyon Fissure. That is our first overtime in the PokeType League, and the Pony Canyon Fissure get the victory over the Coney Spring, which allows the Pony Canyon Fissure to move up the ladder into equal 10th, whereas Coney Spring don't go down anywhere, they just move to 9th. So they do move down the ladder, but not below anyone, just separates them from the Pewter Stones. But in their next matchup, the Pony Canyon Fissure will face the Humilau Cascade, who also have a type advantage over them, Coney Spring and the Cinnabar Flare. But our next matchup, Dewford Combats versus the Olivine Ore. The Dewford Combats do have that fighting type that could help them get a victory over the Steel types. But until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best Umpher. If you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.